So we have just finished printing on the frame. Now, what we're going to do next, this is the screen. This is the screen over here. We're checking to see if it is well positioned on the screen. You can see it is well positioned at every edge.
Now we are stick the film onto the screen. Understand it? Understand it?
So the next part we've gotten to in this whole printing process is to fix the screen onto the screen clamp over there. So we're now fixing the screen on the screen clamp, and then we're going to adjust the screws to make sure it is very tight, it is tight enough. Because we're about to transfer this image onto the screen via this frame over here. So we're going to stick this frame on the screen and then have the printing done. But if it's not done appropriately, we can use the micro registration to have those corrections. So that is what we're doing right now. We have just fixed the screen on the... We take the measurements to make sure we are in order. We take measurements to make sure we are in order. We tighten the screws properly. And now we're pulling off the frame and placing it on top, placing it on the screen. We'll have those measurements again. So now we're having the measurements on the other side to make sure that we are in order. And then we tape it. We tape it on these angles. This is the process. It is not difficult. You tape it on these angles. On the 4 angles, you tape it just like this. So remember, we're sticking the frame on the screen. We're sticking the frame on the screen. So the part we have gotten to in this whole printing process is the screen being exposed. We have just exposed the screen. This is it. This is the screen frame. We have just exposed it in the exposing unit. And then after exposing it, we washed it. And then now we are about to tape the edges of the screen. We tape the edges of the screen. So now we are taping each edge. The 4 edges, we tape the 4 edges of the screen before taking it in on the machine. So it is being taped at the moment. After taping, we'll place it on the Octopus screen printing machine, and then we'll begin our printing. So now we are about to place the screen on the head. Normally, we use the first head for the testing, but because this head has been properly fixed, it contains everything, the float bars, the square G, everything is installed. So we're going to use this head, the last head, that is the number 3 head on this Octopus screen printing machine. Now the head has been fixed in, the screws are going to be tight. So it's trying to position the screen in the right way. Testing the square G carriage. So here we'll first place these papers on the palette because we're going to print the image on the palette on these papers, these 2 papers here. So we'll print the image on the palette and then use them for the color registration. That is what we're going to do right now. So they have been placed on top of the palette. Now that is where we have gotten to. So the next thing you'll see now is us printing the image on this palette and then we'll use it for the color registration. This is the paper. Yeah.
等一下，那是可以，你做啊，可以没有？我来做，我来做，我来做，做好了吧？
So now we're going to start our printing. Remember, we're printing the image on the paper that have been placed on the palettes, which we're going to use for our color registration. So now the image is being printed on the paper. It's printing on the paper. And after this, we use it for the color registration. As you can see, it is printing on the paper. It is printing the image on the paper. This is a step-by-step process on how to use the digital printer and the Octopus screen printing machine. Now we are printing the image on the paper, which we're going to use for the color registration. So in few seconds, it is going to be done. So we're almost done. We're almost done with the printing. Okay. Now we have just printed the image on the paper, as you can see. We have just printed the image on the paper.
装去烤一下，然后对完版吧。这个人，这个是纸来的，是不是？纸来的。
So we're drying it for a bit, for a few seconds. This is a flash dryer with sensor, double fan. Gets dried for about 10 seconds and then comes out. Now the image is directly under the screen. The image is directly beneath the screen. Tightening the screws for the screen clamp. We're almost set. We're just checking to make sure to make the color registration. You can see the micro registration screw handle is being adjusted to make the color registration. The screw handle, you can see the micro registration screw handle is being adjusted to make the color registration. This is a very important aspect. You must examine all points when having the registration. When having the color registration, all points must be properly examined. The screw handle is also adjusted at this other side. Still adjusting. in having the color registration. So now the micro registration screw handle has been adjusted to have the color registration, and then we check on the squidgy, the carriage. You can see what ink is this? Which water base? Okay. So now we are adding the water-based ink on the screen, as you can see. We're adding the water-based ink, white base on the screen, as you can all see. This is the adding process of the white base. Remember, this is a step-by-step process on how to use the Octopus screen printing machine and the digital printing machine. So shortly, we're going to start our printing. So we're just covering up these edges. So as you can see, the printing has just started. Now we are just checking up the color registration on this white paper. Remember, we printed the image on this paper from the digital printer. So now we're checking the color registration. And then we place our fabric. Place our fabric and then return the pallets back to the screen. Gets on the flash dryer and then dries for a few seconds, about 20 seconds. Gets on the flash dryer and then gets dried for about 20 seconds. And then we bring it out. Place it on the screen again, under the screen again, for the printing. As you can all see, it is all neat. Remember, this is a step-by-step process on how to use the Octopus screen printing machine and the digital printing machine. So it is getting dried again for the second time. The white base is getting on it again. And then it's out. So we have just printed the white base on the fabric. We have just printed the white base on the fabric, and now we're moving over to the digital printer. We're moving over to the digital printer right now. We have just printed the white base with the Octopus screen printing machine. We're moving the fabric to where the digital printer is. And now we are going to use the digital printer to complete the printing. Remember, the Octopus screen printing machine printed just the white base. The digital printing machine is going to complete the whole printing in terms of the colors and every other thing that needs to be on this fabric. So this is it. It is printing out, as you can see. As you can all see, it's printing out. The colors are adding up. This is an awesome combination of the digital printer and the Octopus screen printing machine. First of all, we printed the white base with the Octopus screen printing machine, and then we moved the palette inside the digital printer to complete the rest of the printing, which has to do with the colors. This is awesome. Wow. So this is it. The colors have just been printed. The colors have just been printed on the fabric with the digital printer. The Octopus screen printing machine was in charge of the white base, while the digital printer did the rest of the printing.
这样看着是不够鲜艳。这个3个一个盘，你喷多只是看个效果嘛。来，我的镜头。
So you can have a closer look at the image that we have just printed. This is a combination of the Octopus screen printing machine and the digital printing machine. All sharp, very sharp. Nicely done. This is an awesome combination. The Octopus screen printing machine was in charge of the white base, while the digital printing machine completed the whole printing in terms of the colors. So guys, if you have questions concerning this whole process, if you have inquiry to make, feel free to reach out to us, ask your questions, and we would get in touch with you. Now we are going to repeat what we just did. That is the printing of this image on this fabric. First of all, we place on the fabric on the palette and then take it under the screen to use the screen over there. So now I'm going to place this fabric on this palette.
Make sure very flat.
It has to be very flat. It has to be very flat. So I have to make sure of that. And then we move it over to where the screen is, and then use the white base on it. Now we're using the white base on it, and then move it over to the flash dryer. It gets dried for about 10 to 20 seconds. We bring it back, use the white base on it again. And then we just check. We just check. And then move it into the flash dryer again. It gets dried for about 10 to 20 seconds.
It's a black fabric we wash the prints 3 times to cover the black
Okay.
base.
Okay, because it is a black fabric, we must print the white base on it about 3 times so that it can be visible enough, so that it can be very visible because it is a black fabric. And then we just check. It is sharp enough. And then now we're moving it over to the digital printer where we're going to have the colors being printed on it with the digital printer. So now it had just gone inside the digital printing machine. Remember, we've already had our settings on the digital screen. Now it is going to start printing. It is going to start printing the colors on the fabric, as you can see. It is printing out. This is a combination of the digital printing machine and the Octopus screen printing machine.
It's a single printing head of printing, so the speed is very slow.
It is a single head that is printing at the moment, so the speed is slow. As you can see, we just have one single head installed in that cart. So that is why it is slow like this. If the 4 heads are installed on it, it is going to be faster than this. The printing speed is about 200 pieces per hour. The printing speed is about 200 pieces per hour for the 4 head. So we have just printed the colors on the digital printer. And now we check to see how it looks. It's sharp, isn't it? Looks very sharp. Very good. And the next thing we'll do is to dry it. The next thing we'll do is to dry it on the flash dryer. So move to the flash dryer. Move to the flash dryer. So after printing the color on the fabric with the digital printer, we'll move it to the flash dryer to get dried. So let's move to this side. Now it is directly under the flash dryer getting dried. It is directly under the flash dryer getting dried. It's drying up. Between 10 to 20 seconds is okay. So it is all dried. We'll bring it out. We'll check. It's not sticky at all. You can all feel it. So you can see what we have just printed with the Octopus screen printing machine and the digital printing machine. First of all, what we did in printing this, we used the white base with the Octopus screen printing machine and then moved the fabric that is with the palette down to the digital printer to complete the printing with the colors. So the digital printer finished up the whole process before we dried it up. So this is how it looks. It is a combination of the Octopus screen printing machine and the digital printing machine. So if you have inquiry concerning how this thing works, how this combination happened, feel free to reach out to us and we would get back to you. Thank you.